You will love your Avis Ford because at Avis Ford, we make it easy to get you your no money down monthly payment right over the phone. We call it Shop by Phone, and it's the best way we know to get you your payment options fast. You want leather and a sunroof? How about an upgrade to all-wheel drive? Just give us a call. Shop online, shop by phone, or visit us at Telegraph at 12 Mile. Call 1-800-SHOP-FORD.
Meet Danny, high school senior, 17 years of age, all-A student. Danny is just now finding out he scored 1,490 out of 1,600 on his SAT. Danny's friend decided to ask, "How did you do it?" Danny replied, "I believe every day is a test. To fail or succeed, you choose." The effects of vaping is the one test that Danny chose not to study for.
Vaping does not discriminate on who becomes addicted. Over 2 million high school students use some type of electronic cigarette device. The top tobacco companies also own vaping devices. The FDA found that vaping contains some of the same toxic chemicals as regular cigarettes that lead to cancer. So whether you smoke traditional cigarettes with tobacco or smoke electronic cigarettes using nicotine, your health is at risk. There's no safe way to smoke. For more information, contact the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development.
The non-medical use of prescription drugs, including opioids, is a growing concern in our communities, affecting all ages, including our youth. If the medication wasn't prescribed to you or has expired, don't take it. If your name isn't on the bottle, it's not meant for you to swallow. Addiction is real, and lives are being ruined. Or worse yet, lost.
Visit preventiondetroit.org/opioids to find prescription Dropbox locations.
The Center for Urban Youth and Family Development is a nonprofit organization that focuses on preventing personal problems we believe are facilitated by being raised in a foster care environment, or remediating potential problems through education and information to the community. Our programs focus on 3 key areas: youth aging out of foster care, community action, and healthcare. Our programs are focused on young adults in the foster care system who are about to age out, those that have just aged out, and the community at large. The Center for Urban Youth and Family Development hosts a variety of services focusing on the needs of foster care youth throughout the community. We also work with numerous community coalitions in our effort to provide the best services for our clients and to help build stronger communities. We believe that a healthy mind and body are cornerstones to a healthy and prosperous community. The Center also engages our community in mental health and wellness advocacy, as well as suicide prevention. Fostered youth emerge from the foster care system vulnerable to substance abuse, with little opportunity to obtain higher education or develop life skills. The Center for Urban Youth and Family Development empowers youth that are in and transitioning out of the foster care system to overcome the struggles and challenges by providing them substance abuse prevention, life skills training, and workforce development programs. Drawing from the life experiences of our founder, Mr. Marcel Arbuckle, we open the door to positive and productive life through education, health, and life skills development. For more information, you can visit our website at cuyfddetroit.org or check out our social media at cuyfddetroit.
Welcome to Urban Review. We're glad to be here. We're a show that is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration, as well as the Office of National Drug Control Policy and the Office of the White House. And so the thoughts and opinions that are expressed on this show are not necessarily the thoughts and the opinions of the Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration, the Office of National Drug Control Policy, or the White House. But thank you for watching Urban Review. I want to spend a little time talking about school violence today. Today is a beautiful day, November the 16th, 60 degrees, bright and sunny, and unseasonably warm here in Metro Detroit. So it ought to be a beautiful and wonderful day for all teenagers and young people that are going to school and having a great, wonderful school day. But school shootings, metal detectors, backpack searches, the guys who hang out in the basement stairwell and the diva that sends out horrible, vicious rumors by email and text message and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. All of those people and all of those issues can cause feelings of anxiety about school for a student. Those feelings can range from slightly uncomfortable to absolutely terrifying. On a day-to-day basis, young people sometimes are faced with the issue of hiding from a bully, avoiding getting picked on, avoiding getting talked about, and that becomes more important than learning. For some teens, just the idea of a school shooting like the one that happened in Metro Detroit last year, where several students lost their lives and several other students were injured, that's enough to make a young person not want to go to school at all. And even though learning is the point of school, it gets put on the back burner oftentimes because of school violence. And it is a serious, serious type of problem, and it's a distraction that nobody needs. You know, schools actually are a bit safer than you might think. With all of the anxiety surrounding school, it can be difficult to keep school violence in perspective. But surveys show that students think school is one of the most dangerous places in the world. But in terms of actual crimes, like physical assault and theft, statistics show that school is one of the safest places to be. Safer than at home, walking down the street, or even hanging out at the mall. For example, in the past decade, your chance of being a victim of violence or theft at school has been cut in half. High school students who report carrying a gun on school property dropped from 12% to 6%. And the number of students who have been in a physical fight at the school has dropped 25%. There's no denying that school shootings like the ones that happened earlier last year in Metro Detroit are extremely scary. They also attract so much media attention that it can be hard to put them out of your mind. But they're also extremely, extremely rare. There have been fewer than 40 school shootings of this type worldwide since 1996. It's twice as likely that you'll be struck by lightning as it is that you'll be a homicide victim at a school. But that doesn't mean that school violence isn't a real problem. It is. It's a real problem. No matter where you go to school, you need to stay aware and be aware of the common sense opportunities to keep yourself safe and to avoid negative issues and things that happen. One of the opportunities that exist for keeping yourself safe starts right with you. And there are a number of things that you, and not only you can do, but should do to keep yourself safe and to keep your child safe at school, to be healthy, happy, and violence-free. Number one, report actual and potential violence to adults. If a young person, or if your child, or if you see someone being beaten up, if you're a victim of ongoing bullying, or if you have ever overhear a classmate talking as if they're intending to commit violence, you need to report that to an adult who can address the problem. There are two main reasons why young people don't report violence to adults. The first is that some teens still think telling an adult is tattling, an attitude that should have been left behind in first grade. The mature response to potential or actual violence is to tell an adult who can put a stop to it. You're in school, not the mafia, and in this case, staying silent is not the honorable thing to do. That old saying, snitches get stitches, is just wrong. Imagine how you'd feel if someone really got hurt, and you might have been able to help prevent it simply by speaking up. The other reason teens don't want to report violence is that they fear retaliation. Tell the adult to keep your name and any information you have given confidential. Adults can usually handle the problem without ever letting anyone know who or how they found out about the issue. Take threats of violence seriously and report them to an adult right away. For everyone's sake, don't be afraid to share information that you learn, even if it's something that you overhear. Step up and step out and share that information. The second thing you can do is watch for the signs of violence in those around you. People about to commit violence often show warning signs, like losing their temper almost every day, getting into fights, bragging about committing violence, committing serious property damage and vandalism, taking dangerous risks, increasing the use of alcohol and drugs, making detailed plans for acts of violence, threatening opening to hurt others, being cruel to animals, carrying or playing with weapons of any kind. If any of your friends, if any of your acquaintances, if any of your neighbors' children, if any of the children that you interface with fits that profile, try to get them to seek help. And if that individual refuses, you need to report their behavior in confidence to a responsible adult, a responsible person. And I know that it may be hard, but by doing so, you're really being the best friend that you can be to that individual. Once again, if that person is a person that's always losing their temper, if they're always getting into fights, if they brag about committing violence, if they commit property damage, serious property damage and vandalism, if they take serious risks that are dangerous, if they increase the use of alcohol and drugs, if they're making detailed plans to commit acts of violence, if they're threatening openly to hurt others, if they're being cruel to animals, if they're carrying or playing with weapons of any type, you need to report that behavior. You need to be concerned about individuals with that profile. The next thing, as a young person, don't go looking for trouble. You know where dangerous types are likely to hang out at your school. You know where those people are. You know who the people that use drugs are, and you know where they hang out at. Avoid them. Refuse to participate. Explain why you don't want to participate. Hey, I'm an athlete. Hey, I'm trying to do better with my life. Hey, I'm trying to achieve. I've got goals. I've got ambitions. I've got dreams. Refuse, explain, and then the next thing to do is avoid. Avoid those individuals. And if you look up and find yourself around them, then leave. Refuse, R. Explain, E. Avoid, A. Leave, L. R-E-A-L. Real. Keep it real. Refuse, explain, avoid, leave. Keep it real. Avoid those dangerous individuals. Avoid trouble. If you have to pass through areas where there are troubled individuals and where trouble is going on, stick with your friends and maintain in an air of confidence. And if you are confronted, walk away. Refuse, explain, avoid, and leave. Keep it real. The fourth thing that you can do is there is real safety in numbers. Bullies don't single one undersized victim as much as they do friendless ones. The bully's strategy is to isolate his target, which is a lot easier if the person has few friends to begin with. If you're concerned about your safety, stick with friends whenever possible. Number 5, listen carefully. Don't misunderstand what I'm about to say. Armed is dangerous. Carrying a club, a knife, a gun is really a bad idea. You're much more likely to be caught with it than you are to use it. You'll be expelled from school if you're lucky, and arrested if you're not. Weapons also tend to make you stupid. If you find yourself in a scary situation, you'll probably resort to using the weapon rather than thinking your way out. So many shootings have occurred simply because the individual had a gun. Had they not had that weapon, they would have thought of another alternative to avoid or get out of that situation. Once again, at a point where things can really get nasty, the worst outcome of all, you win. Your opponent goes to the hospital or the morgue, and you go to prison for a long, long time. So get real. Refuse, explain, avoid, and leave. Get real. All you know about armed combat is the stuff that you see in the movies and the video games. In the real situation, in the real thing, when it's not a video game, when it's not a movie, when it's not on television, everybody loses. Somebody loses their life. Someone loses their freedom. Somebody's families loses their happiness. Armed is dangerous. Avoid all weapons. If you know someone that has a weapon and they have that weapon at school, you need to tell an adult immediately. Be prepared to report the type of weapon, where you saw it, who you was with involved in any incident that took place, and the date and time. If you see someone carrying a weapon, walk away as quickly as possible without drawing any attention to yourself, and find an adult or call 911. Armed is dangerous. Number 6, treat others with respect. The alternative to treating others as you like to be treated is to view everyone as a potential enemy, which is a miserable way to live your life. Always try to resolve conflicts by talking it out and compromising. Find an uninvolved student or an adult to mediate if necessary. If your school doesn't have a peer mediation program, then that's an idea that you can start one. Go to your guidance counselor, go to your principal, and say, hey, I think we need to start a peer mediation process. We need a program where when people have an issue, when people have a conflict, they can go in front of this team that is comprised of students and adults, and they can help you work out a compromise. They can help you work out a solution. But the answer is not to start a fight. The bottom line, school safety is probably one of the least issues that a lot of people think about on how to resolve. But actually, school is probably one of the least dangerous places you can spend your time. And if you stay aware and do the right thing, you can make it even safer. So I've just given you 6 tips on how to address school violence. 1, report actual and potential violence to adults. Number 2, watch for signs of violence in those around you. Number 3, don't go looking for trouble. Number 4, remember that there really is safety in numbers. Have friends, hang out with your friends. Number 5, remember that armed is dangerous. And number 6, treat others with respect. Treat everyone the way you want to be treated. So I wanted to share those 6 tips as we address school violence, and there are some alternatives that we can take to violence. And if you want more information about how to avoid school violence, go to www.inthenozone.com. That's www.inthenozone.com. www.inthenozone.com. Don't stay in the dark. Get in the know. Contact the No Zone. And if you find yourself needing resources for your health, for your mental health, then you can see a community health worker, a neighborhood community health worker today. A community health worker is a public health professional trained to offer in-person support by referring community residents to resources that cater to their health and well-being. Where can you find a community health worker or a CHA at? Well, you can contact Hartford Memorial Baptist Church at their community site, which is located at 14,000 West 7 Mile in Detroit. And they're open on Monday from 10 to 5, Thursdays from 10 to 5, and Fridays from 10 to 5. And they can refer you to resources that can help you with your health, your mental health, or other issues that you might be facing. And they are available to you at no cost. You don't need any insurance. You don't need any ID, and appointments are not required. So they can help you with health care enrollment assistance. They can give you connection to community resources like food and housing and utilities. They can provide you with education on healthy lifestyles and behaviors. They can help you locate providers of those resources that you need. And they can help you manage chronic conditions and medications. And they can do more. So if you need some support, reach out to a community health worker today, a neighborhood community health worker, and you can contact one at Hartford Memorial Baptist Church at their community center, 14,000 West 7 Mile here in Detroit. And last but not least, just want to give acknowledge to the fact that yesterday was International Suicide Survivors Day of Loss. And that is a day when we provide love and support, caring and understanding to those individuals who have survived a loved one that has succumbed to the completion of a suicide. And we wanted to acknowledge those individuals, and we want to give thanks to the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network, the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development, CARE of Southeastern Michigan, Black Family Development, and Hagera Health Incorporated, along with the Veterans Administration, for supporting that event and making it a wonderful event. We had a speaker from Kevin's Song to provide the keynote address, as well as individuals that are family members of survivors that provided testimonials. And it was a wonderful facility that we conducted the event at the Dr. Yvonne Shetfield Center. And we acknowledge the fact that if you know someone that has spoken of suicide, is focusing on death, is making a plan to end their life, have them talk with a friend, have them talk with a family member, have them talk with a counselor, have them talk with a religious leader. They can call 1-800-273-TALK, which is 1-800-273-8255, which is the 24-hour National Crisis Hotline. And if you don't have the ability to call that number, just look in your phone book. In our local community, there is an 800 number. And if anything else doesn't work, you can always dial 911. And to find out more information, you can visit the Michigan Association for Suicide Prevention website, which is at www.amasponweb.org. That's masponweb.org for more information on suicide prevention. So we also want to thank our team members from the Coalition for Urban Youth and Family Development, Ms. Tiffany Edwards and Ms. Erin Parrish, Ms. Gwen Moore, Ms. Monique Gaines, Ms. Priscilla Rabanis, Mr. Lamar Copeland, Mr. DeMarcio Amaro, and Mr. Marcel Arbuckle Jr. They're doing a wonderful job, and the team is going to be providing holiday nutrition baskets. If you are in need of a basket, please dial 313-340-3101, and we will make arrangements for you to receive a holiday nutrition basket. Once again, that's 313-340-3101. And as we wrap up today's show, we think about the words that Nelson Mandela said to himself each day during his 27 years of confinement. Out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods there be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud, and under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloodied but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid, for it matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the captain of my fate and the master of my soul. And when you're up against some trouble, meet it squarely face to face. Plant your feet, set your shoulders, lift your chin, and take a brace, and the worst is bound to happen. In spite of all that you can do, remember you may fail, but you may conquer, so see it through. Black may be the clouds about you, and your future may seem grim, but don't let your nerve desert you, and keep yourself in fighting trim. And when it's vain to try and dodge it, in spite of all that you can do, remember running from it will not save you, so see it through. Even hope may seem but futile when with troubles you're beset. But remember, you're simply facing what other men have met, so if you fail, fall still fighting, and don't give up whatever you do. Keep your eyes to the front, your head high to the finish, and see it through. Thank you for watching Urbn Review.